Are we ready? Alrighty, we be recording? We live? We're live? All right. Today is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. It is now 6:02 p.m. and this is a regular City Commission meeting of the City of West Miami. This meeting is now called to order. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, we humbly bow before your presence. Grant us the wisdom to discern the humility to accept and the strength to follow the path you've set before us. We seek your guidance, Lord, as we embark on this meeting. May your light shine upon our discussions, and may our decisions align with your divine will. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Item 3, roll call. Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Vice Mayor Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Natalie Minian Orbis.
Here.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for February 28, 2024 Special Commission Meeting, March 6, 2024 Regular Commission Meeting, and March 20th, 2024 Special Commission Meeting.
Motion.
You have a motion?
Second.
You have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Next item.
Item 5, public comments.
Anyone for public comments? Can hear from the public?
Mayor, we have I'm sorry. And we also have a representative from Mayor Levine Cava's office here.
Understood. Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Alina Campos. I've been a resident here since 1993. I live on 18th Street. And just to give you a little bit of background, back in 2018, I and a group of neighbors started meetings, and we came and we spoke and to try to get the traffic on 18th Street under control. We were told that we wanted speed bumps, and we were told the city couldn't do that; it had to be approved by the county. So we went and met with Commissioner Rebecca Sosa, who's no longer, she's already retired. But, we went back and forth. Then they said that they were going to do a study. And when I came for the results of the study, our street was not included. So I kind of, gave up.
So just for the record again, your intersections are which ones?
I'm on 18th Street between 64 and 65 Avenue.
Mhm.
The reason I came again, or I called Mr. Blanes, was that the other day I was driving down 64th towards Coral Way, and what do I see? I see a speed bump. And I'm like, how come there's a speed bump here, and we don't have a speed bump on our street, which gets a lot more traffic?
If I'm not mistaken, that street, that's where that's a thoroughfare where the shoehorns meet, right? So
The shoehorns?
I'm talking about
We have roundabouts, one on 64 and one on 65.
right.
No shoehorns. I don't know what that means.
No,
but
I mean the road shape. You don't.
Right, where you enter and you come around a U and you come out again, the street that it
No,
turns
my
into.
street is a straight street.
On 64th Avenue.
It's 64 might be, I don't know. But 18th Street is straight from 62nd all the way to 67.
Well, I think, sorry to interrupt you, I think, number one, the speed bumps that you saw, which hopefully you liked more than the locations they are, were meant to be a start of what we're doing. But Mr. Manager, I think, yeah, go ahead.
She is one of the ones that we're going to be recommending tonight as well.
Beautiful. And we have, that's an item for tonight for an additional,
Mayor, yes, it is.
beautiful, beautiful, okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
No, thank you for coming. Anyone else for public comments? Oh, we have now distinguished county mayor's office.
Good evening.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. I wanted to come here personally. My name is Annabelle Urrea Guzman. I'm the new West State Liaison for Mayor Daniela Levine Cava. So just wanted to introduce myself, offer you my services. I've already exchanged a few emails with a few of you, but I'm at your service, whatever you need. I'm your girl.
All
Okay?
right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public comments? Going once, going twice. All right, next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, and residents. I want to start off by thanking our staff for putting on what basically was 2 events in one day this last Saturday. We had a very highly successful breakfast followed by an Easter egg hunt that, on all accounts, from all our residents, everybody thoroughly enjoyed themselves and thought that it was extremely well done. And that's kudos to my staff, my chief of staff, my communications director, and basically to the special event staff that did an absolutely amazing job. I also want to thank Commissioner Cabrera's office for their support, that they have always been great partners of us in the city of West Miami. I do want to announce that as of today, we will be entering a cone of silence to the rec center, as we will be receiving bids, and we hopefully will be back toward the end of this month with the award. Additionally, the water line, the next phase of the water line project, will be putting out for bids in the very near future, as long as the long-awaited citywide drainage projects that we've all been waiting for. As you know, that one of the issues that was brought to my attention almost immediately was a little bit of a lack of security in our parking lot. As you come in today, you'll probably start seeing that we're putting in our gates. The electricity was put in today, and pretty soon we'll be able to have a secure parking lot for all our staff, our employees, but most importantly for our police officers. We have a tree installation kickoff for the grant that we were awarded that will be held on April the 9th, and installation will begin thereafter. I want to repeat myself that the pink ribbons that most of our residents see on trees means that they have been designated to receive an injection to kill the mites and insects that attack black olives, and therefore reducing the staining associated with this tree. This is scheduled to begin at the end of April. Lastly, I'm proud to announce that we have our security cameras now up in all our parks, and inclusively we've added some more security cameras here at our facilities. Tonight we'll be addressing the last phase of traffic calming speed tables for this year. And I'm also proud to announce that we'll be also installing a chicane right in front of our future dog park. Should you have any questions, as always, I'm here ready to answer any questions that you may have.
Does anyone have any questions for the manager on his report? Questions?
No.
Go ahead.
You're going to talk later about the traffic cameras, right?
Wait, that's an,
Or no?
That's
You
an-
want to?
all right, is it about the ones that are already installed or the future ones?
No, because I was telling, it is the moment, or you
That we
prefer
have we have a future item that's coming in front of you that we can discuss the new ones.
Okay, well, we'll just take it at that item, when the item
We'll
comes.
do later.
Okay. All right, seeing none,
I
next
just
item?
wanted to,
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. Manager, I just wanted to congratulate you and the staff on a wonderful Easter event. Both the breakfast and the event at the park were wonderful, and you and the staff did a great job. It was very organized, so I wanted to highlight that, and thank you again for doing all that you do for the city.
Thank you.
Do
Thank
we
you.
gotta go down the room now? No, for real, it's, you know, that event, as you know, was gives me a lot of anxiety for over the years. And this one was very organized, and that's a testament to great staff and yourself. So again, we'll probably have some comments and go to the order in regards to the events and the events coming up. But yeah, I echo Commissioner's comments. It was a fantastic event, and it was clean, and it was no drama and organized, and that allowed families to enjoy themselves very much. Next item.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
We have been working diligently with the manager in various projects. Therefore, the manager and I have been busy doing a lot of things in the city. We have avoided litigation and extensive negotiations with MKS to vacate the premises at 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue. And we have obtained a total release of the agreement, so therefore we should be in good hands. Of course, the appellate division of the Circuit Court is also busy in granting us favorable decisions in the case of the red light cameras, and presently is in the 3rd District Court of Appeals.
Beautiful. Does anyone have any questions for the city attorney on his report? Seeing none, thank you. Next item.
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
City engineer. All right. I assume you got a report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Just a quick report. The manager touched on most of the projects that we got upcoming. You should hopefully start seeing a flurry of construction activities as we start our Phase 2 water project. We're just waiting right now on notification to use the funds that we have for the project. So as soon as we get that, we'll be started on construction, and that's the biggest phase that we have as a whole. So there'll be almost the whole northwest portion of the city is going to be under construction. So we'll be overseeing that and making sure that any issues that come up during construction are resolved. Phase 3 is coming out to bid here soon, and we're working right now to wrap up Phase 4 as well. And as you mentioned in the prior meeting, we have some more funds coming in, so we'll start planning on those as well. Drainage, we have our projects that we designed for last year. Those are going to be coming out to bid now, and more construction. So, yeah.
What's the timeline after, on the drainage projects?
The drainage projects, if we go out to bid, when do we plan to go out to bid on that?
As soon as we have the invitation to, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be out to
I'll
bid.
give you a conservative
Yeah.
number.
So, I mean, if
Conservative
we're, we'd have somebody on board, I guess, June, more or less.
timeline. June is start of construction.
June would have a contractor on board. There'll be some startup activities. So yeah, by late June, July, we should be, in the ground working.
Okay.
And that's probably about a 3 to 6 month project
Okay.
on various sites throughout the city.
Okay. Got it. Anyone have any questions for the city engineer on his report? Seeing none, you're
Thank
free to go. Next item.
Item 9, committee reports.
Anyone for committee reports? Go ahead.
So we haven't held another Parks and Rec meeting since the last one, and as the manager mentioned, at the end of the month, we should be getting an update on that. But I just wanted to join the thank you parade and specifically mention the Parks and Rec board, Parks and Rec employees, along with communications. They do a great job of getting, in front of the residents, letting them know that we have events. Our park staff go door to door, dropping off flyers, and a special shout out to our Easter Bunny. You know who you were. Great job.
Thank you for that. Anyone else for committee reports? Seeing none. Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business.
All right, let's, do we
No.
need to take anything out of order? No, go ahead,
Commission
go ahead, let's
review
start up.
notes?
First readings.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
I guess this is my time to.
Your pocket item?
I guess it's a point of personal privilege. So this year, May 14th, this year marks the 76th anniversary of the independence of Israel. And I know the clerk passed out a resolution. And so I'm requesting a proclamation celebrating this occasion and standing in solidarity with the people of Israel. And it would be for May, so I'm just asking if we can approve it today so that we can present it in May. And then as part of it, we would illuminate the building in blue and white from May 14th through May 15th for one day.
Okay, let's put this, so we need a 4/5 vote to put it on the agenda. Let's make it item 12C upon passage.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to include the item on the agenda?
Motion.
You have a motion?
Second.
You have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Make that item 12C on the consent agenda items.
Thank you.
Noted.
Thank you.
Yes.
11A, please.
Yes, 11A, this is a first reading, an ordinance of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the investment and reinvestment of surplus public funds by the city manager or his designee as chief financial officer to the city commission on behalf of and in the name of the city commission, authorizing the investment and reinvestment of other surplus public funds by the city of West Miami, authorizing the investment and reinvestment of such surplus funds in investment securities, requiring that a cash management and investment policy be adopted pursuant to resolution of the city commission, providing for conflict and severability, providing for an effective date.
Is it first reading?
Yes.
Do we have a motion on this?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes. Commissioner Milian Orbis,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez.
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes.
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
5-0, item passes. And second reading and public hearing will be heard on May 1st, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Great. Perfect. Next item.
Next item is a first reading, 11B, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, adding Article 4, purchases and contracts, Section 2-74, surplus property, providing for direction to dispose of non-operational, operational, or obsolete assets owned by the City of West Miami, providing for codification, conflict severability, and providing an effective date.
So first reading. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion. We have a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Suarez,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez.
Yes.
Commissioner Milian Orbis.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes.
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
5-0, item passes, and second reading and public hearing on May 1st, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Next item.
Yes,
It's
item
only item C, right, for this one?
C is a request for mitigation, it's a resolution
Okay.
of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to accept a mitigation offer in the amount of blank from Ismael de Marchena on code enforcement liens for code violations at the property located at 6377 Southwest 14th Street, West Miami, Florida, providing that if payment in full is not paid by blank, then the amount owed shall revert to the original lien amount, providing for an effective date.
Is the applicant here?
Maria Allo on behalf of Mr. DeMarchena. Commissioners, I'm here today because we want to mitigate to as low as possible these fines. But in order to do that, I need to give you a little bit of background. I've been a practicing attorney for 32 years, mainly involved in real estate transactional work. And I am grateful to cities like the City of West Miami that conduct certificate of reoccupancy, because that allows people to give them an idea if there's a problem with the property. The City of West Miami has enacted that, and Mr. DeMarchena has purchased properties in the city in the past. His family has lived here for 40-something years, and when he went to buy this property, an inspection was done, and at the time, there were no violations or any type of problems noted. So he proceeded to buy the property. The only thing that he did to the property was put in a new roof, which he pulled a permit, and paint it. And when he went to sell it, and they did the reinspection for the sale, several violations came up. Now, the violations were not something that my client created. This was a very weird type of bunker structure that was on the backyard. And because of the way that it was built, it shows that it was there for like over 40 years. The person that sold the property to him lived there for 40-plus years, and he died. So his family had no knowledge of, what had been done to the property. So when Mr. DeMarchena went to sell it and the inspection came up, they said, oh, this whole structure is in violation. So that was a total and complete surprise for him. So we proceeded to hire engineers, architects to see what could be done. We met with Mr. Pena at the time, who was the building official. We met with the inspector or persons that were working there at the time. And they said, oh, this thing needs to be either brought up to code or removed. Now, this was a huge endeavor, and Mr. DeMarchena spent thousands of dollars just to get engineers and architects to tell him, what is this? We don't know how to fix it. This is not fixable. So he had to go ahead and pull a permit and tear it down. And by tearing that property down, the value of the property diminished because he had to take a pool that was built with a permit in 1978 and was a great, plus to the property. He had to take everything out. Now it's just a yard, and now he has to build a deck because these houses are higher up than the lot. So, I mean, we're talking about over $50,000. So we're asking for the fine to be reduced to the lowest possible amount, keeping in mind that had he known that this monstrosity in the back was a problem, he probably would not have bought the property and undertaken such a big job.
Yeah, we'll get recommendation now.
I got a question.
We'll get,
Yes.
I'd like to go before you real quick, because I don't know Mr. De Marchena. I do know the property just because a neighbor who was complaining to me about something, not on a personal level with your client, but I know of the structure because they were complaining about during the construction or deconstruction process or during the roof. I don't know. One of the processes their client was doing, there might have been some damage to a fence for, separating the two properties, and this person was expressing, what the city can do because, she has a dog and she can't let the dog out because the fence was damaged during construction, which is typical during construction. Things get damaged, things get pulled. But to the extent possible, I just want to make sure, if this is the opportunity, to make sure that we solve a resident issue without having to go through another litigation for you, that we kind of try to solve, to the extent that's legal, try to solve that little fence issue. At this point, maybe contingent on whatever the lower recommendation will be, because I'm assuming from what you're telling me, our recommendation is going to be, how much is the current amount, the violation for?
The current violation is $21,472.50.
Yeah, we're obviously going to, we'll get the recommendation now, but I just keep that in mind right now. Maybe you can give a recommendation on that, and I don't know to the extent that you're aware of that, because
I know exactly the house that you're talking about, and if anybody has pictures here of what was
don't.
before, okay, the neighbors whose yard was a little bit deteriorated to start with, the structure was probably like 6 feet high, so that you couldn't even see the ground from her property to this property. It was like...
You're saying the pool structure?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the fence was like, there was hardly any fence because the back structure was almost as high as the fence of the neighbor.
Yeah.
And when the structure had to be removed, what was removed was like all of the filling that was there, but the fence wasn't touched. This is the same fence that has been there for 40-something years.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm referring to. I'm
okay.
referring to again, I get these calls. I memorize some things, and this is referring to some doesn't appear to be extreme damage. Just appears minor damage enough that a dog wouldn't be able to be let loose because it would leave the property or something like that.
Okay.
That was done during construction. So, we can work that out after this mitigation.
Yeah, we'll talk to the neighbor. Okay. We don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, just we'll put it on your radar. Vice Mayor, go ahead.
I'm curious.
Yes.
You say that this is a monstrosity of a structure. How did your client miss this monstrosity of a structure?
No, it was there. He thought this is a bunker, a storage space under the pool. It was ugly, but leave it up to people's taste.
It was a weird structure.
That doesn't make any sense. When you buy something, you should know. You're an attorney. Caveat emptor. Beware, buyer beware.
And he did an inspection of the property commissioner, and the property was in good shape. The structure wasn't falling apart or anything.
We're talking about a bunker and a monstrosity of a structure. That, we're in a single-family residential area. We don't have bunkers. Bunkers are not allowed. So when he bought the property,
It was more like storage space under the pool. It wasn't like a bunker for somebody to protect themselves from a fallout or something.
So it wasn't a monstrosity of a structure.
Well, what I'm saying, it was big. It was big.
Look,
It was obvious
I've
that it
seen
was
I've seen
big.
It was strange. It wasn't necessarily something that was, you know, it wasn't like a layer or you know, some sort of like, you know, back cave or something like that. But it was a weird
That's
structure.
what it sounds like.
Mr. Manager, can we get the recommendation before we start going in circles
The
here?
person who wanted to buy the property actually liked that. They liked that they had, you know, storage space underneath the pool.
Can we get the recommendation from the manager? We can.
Yes, thank you,
Move
Mayor.
forward with this.
Yes, it was a unfinished basement under the pool. I wouldn't call it a bunker. It was unfinished, no drywall, had exposed electrical. I happened to actually walk it. However, I will acknowledge the fact that they did, unfortunately, previous administration and the people that did it before us did not realize that there was something back there. And they did say that there was no violation. So I kind of see both sides. So my
Yes.
recommendation is to reduce the fine to $3,500 plus 30 days to fix any problems with our city on the fence at the backyard.
Assuming it's an issue.
Assuming there's an issue, it might
look,
not
let's-
be, but
yeah,
at least
let's-
having a
let's deal
meeting.
with that.
having a
I
meeting
don't
with-
think that we should include that in this because we don't know what the person is claiming. Does she want a new fence? I mean, I think that's something that should be taken up later and shouldn't affect what the reduction is here. It shouldn't like be included in this agenda.
Well, that was going to be my friendly amendment for this property owner to address the damage that he caused to the neighbor's fence.
Yeah, we'll let them discuss for a second. I just, you know, unfortunately, this is the only time that there's, you know, a time to put any. Look, I don't know your client, so I just don't know.
I don't think
but
there's
it's-
damage. I mean, the city is welcome to go there and look at the fence, but my client did not create any problems for her.
Fair, if I may, I still like to make the recommendation, $3,500, and we will have our building department go in and inspect the house, if that's okay with you.
It's okay
for
because
us
as a
tomorrow.
matter of
If we see a
fact,
violation, we'll hit them on that.
we have a new permit and plans were submitted to build a deck in the back,
Yeah.
like an exit from the home, because the home is elevated. So we need steps going to the yard.
All right. We have that. Okay.
We're fine. That's what my recommendation is, $3,500. We will do a courtesy inspection and
Okay.
then move on from there.
Understood. Do you have an issue with
I
that?
would ask for a lower amount. I mean, based on the circumstances and what Mr. DeMarchena has had to spend in order to correct this problem that he, you know.
Motion for $3,500.
Okay. Do you have a second on that?
I have a question.
Go
That
ahead.
$3,500 cover our cost, the cost that we have involved?
We've had a substantial amount of inspections there, but I think we'll be fine at the $3,500. But any lower than that, I would not recommend against it because, again, I'll repeat myself, although our inspectors were not aware that there was a structure under the pool, the door to that entrance and that structure was in the back, and it was almost nearly impossible for them to go see it. That's number one. Number two, in all fairness, it's an unfinished space that had electrical and all kinds of work done that anybody would have been able to have caught.
But your office recommendation is $3,500.
$3,500.
We have a motion from the Vice Mayor.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second.
Second,
Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez?
yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Patron?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item?
Yes, item D, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami related to office equipment, accepting the delivery of 4 Canon 5850 and 1 Canon 5840 image printed advanced DX based on the competitive price through NASPRO Cooperative Purchasing in the amount of $1,305.60 per month, leased with a 48-month term and providing for an effective date.
Does anyone have any questions on this item? I imagine everyone's spoken to the manager on this equipment lease. Can we get an item? Okay, get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
You have a motion, do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
I want to make a question to the manager.
Oh, go ahead.
because, Mr. Silva, is this amount is with the actual Calmers or?
We're talking about a copy machine here.
This is, our current contract has expired, so this is a replace for all our copier machines, and
But-
it's a competitive bid.
But later we have a conversation about,
The traffic calmers is the next item.
No, the traffic calming is the next one, sir.
okay, all right.
So
Yeah, it's- yes.
Commissioner Suarez, yes. Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes,
And Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
thank you. Next item.
Item E, resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami related to procurement, continuing to utilize contract between the city and VNG Construction Solutions Corporation executed on December 21st, 2023, to provide citywide traffic calming installation devices in the amount of $60,000 and 0 cents, and providing for an effective date.
All right, Commissioner, you had questions on this?
well, I was checking about the city with many residents who call me about the existing Calmers, and I have in 10th Street. 10th Street goes from 62nd to 67. And 67 is the traffic light, and it's a shopping center. And many people drive from 67 up to here, the 62nd, to shortcut. So 62nd to 63rd is more or less a normal block. Now, from 63rd to 64 is a longer block. And there are several residents that they are requesting put a calmer there, because once the people get involved in the 10th Street, there is a not a stop sign, but a yield in 64. So I have residents requesting one calmer between 64 and 65th, and one calmer between 63rd and 64, because it's a long distance, and the people, they just make a shortcut from the shopping to the 62nd, and I request, we have one in the list, we have one. So what I trying to request for these residents is one, another one between 64 and 65th.
So we have the one between 63rd and 64th.
There is one already,
Right.
63rd and 64. There is one.
I see that one.
What I requested, the residents are requesting between 64 and 65th, because the people really speedy there.
Just to read off the list for the public benefit. The current list is, and these are just reference addresses: 6421 Southwest 22nd Street, 6480 Southwest 20th Street, between 59th and 60th Avenue and 13th Street, 6507 Southwest 23rd Street. Now, let me ask you, Mr. Manager, before we go into Commissioner Suarez's item. We heard from Ms. Campos. Is that, is,
If I may, I actually added it,
go ahead.
because with the money that we have allocated, Mayor, we can put in 7 to 8 of them.
Okay.
So there's 5 on this list. Mrs. Campos would be number 6. That still leaves me 2 more that I can place.
Okay, you have the list here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll start, let me,
Go ahead.
the first one is 5750, and this is actual, because we've gone out there and now looked at them. 6507 Southwest 23rd Street is one. There is like a linear walkway park there.
I have been trying, let me just tell you, I have sat there with a neighbor for hours. There was even a point 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I was, because the county meets the city there. And I remember I tried to get the county to move us there, and they sent a crew out there, because this gentleman in the corner there was adamant that someone's going to die there in that intersection. There is a lot of pedestrian traffic in that little crosswalk, a lot. And I saw with them, and I saw it, people taking the stop sign over and over and over again. And they sent the county crew out there, and they came back and they said there's no need for traffic calming here. And, you know, all the county cars have dash cams, so I said, okay, can we give us the video from going out there? And the county car gets there, and while he's in the vehicle, somebody passes over him and takes a stop sign in the video. So that is a really bad intersection. I know that the gentleman there, Mr. Vasquez, has been very adamant for a long time that something's been needed there. So I'm glad that we're taking. I'm glad that that's there. I'm just personal point of privilege there. That's a really important one. Continue.
This is 6480 Southwest 20th Street, and this is another one that we've had a request on, and we've deemed it that it complies with our traffic calming requirements. The next one is 6470 Southwest 18th Street. This is Mrs. Campos's location, and I have to, there's rules that I have to follow. And one of the rules is got to be so many feet away from an intersection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the location's there.
No, that makes sense.
Mr. Mayor?
But Commissioner, we'll get you in a second. Are these already? These are proposed, and then we have to go and actually get the approvals from the neighbors, right?
We have to go and get the approvals from the neighbors and walk those streets and ensure.
So we haven't
that
done that
have
yet.
the
These
approval.
are proposals from the city. Correct?
The way it is that we passed a traffic calming agreement with Miami-Dade County, which allowed us to lower the standards from the county. Doing so, there's rules and regulations that I must adhere to. Once we pass that hurdle, we need to go to the block and ensure that the person that lives on both sides of that street calming that's coming will approve it. Once that second hurdle's done, then I can go ahead and install it.
Okay, so we might need your help on when we get to that. Make sure your block is in favor. You seem very organized, so that should be a problem. Commissioner, go ahead.
Mr. Manager, would this be a candidate for a chicane right there where that street comes down?
We looked at it, Commissioner, I'm sorry. We looked at it for a chicane. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and I can't do a blow-up of that because of the driveway situation that's sitting on that house that's right at the end of that. If it wouldn't have been for the driveway, yes, I would have recommended a chicane there.
Understood. All right.
The next one is 6421 Southwest 22nd Street. That one's ideal. That speed table would be right in between the two circular driveways. It fits just perfect. This is on 13th Street between 59th and 60th. That's the one location that we found that we could adequately put a speed table in.
Is that 60th Court there?
60th
left?
Avenue and between 59th and 60th.
Okay.
And then this is the location on 10th Street that we're looking at, right in front of 6346.
This is the one that's currently in the packet.
That is correct. So that's the ones that we have. Again, we have funding for 2 more, maybe 3. And that's up to you guys if you want to add
Okay.
them today. or
Does
if you
anyone have an
wanna
issue with
read-
including Commissioner Suarez's request in this round? Does anyone have comments on that, questions on that?
This is on 10th Street between 65th and 64?
Yeah, between 64 and 65th, because.
That's a long block.
Yeah, and the people comes from the shopping center, 67th Avenue, shortcut, by the 8th Street. So they speed there, because once they pass 65th Avenue, they speedy trying to go ahead. And with the residents, they are crazy with the problems there.
Yeah, that is a very long block.
Yeah, there is.
Now, this isn't a definite list. This is the proposed list. So all of these locations will be checked with our traffic study to make sure that they are needed as we have to with our ILA, right?
I need to make sure that there's a requirement that we need to score a minimum of 10 points based on a point system the county gave us. As long as it
Okay.
meets those 10 points, that's hurdle one. Hurdle two is ensuring that the people on both sides of the speed table accept it, and then we can begin.
All right, let's add that to the list, and then for the last one, let's go into the data, and we'll run through a few options. We want to make sure that you know, it's getting to the most need area that we have.
And I will say, Mayor, again, this is it for this year for funding
No,
on
yeah,
these
yeah.
things.
I think with these, with the
We're
addition of
pretty
these, I
much-
don't think any resident would expect that, how many we would be able to put in
Okay.
in the short time. So I think that's going to be a hopefully very popular, and hopefully, you know,
Do we have a total number at the end of the project?
of this year's round, how many did we already install?
Do we have a total
We've
number?
installed 9, and right now, we're talking about 7 more, so it'll be 16 that
16,
we've
that's
installed.
significant.
So a total of 16?
Yes, sir.
That's significant. All right, can we get a motion on this item?
Motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 11F, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami related to plumbing repairs directly affecting City Hall and the community center, granting the city manager the ability to exercise emergency procuring to remedy the problem, and approving the expense of repair not exceeding $60,000 and 0 cents, and providing an effective date.
Okay, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to bring this item forward. The City Hall complex has been suffering from plumbing issues for years. What we have discovered is that some of the plumbing lines were installed incorrectly, and we need to change them, because right now, we're basically having to call a plumber every third day to come and unclog it. In fact, we did it last Friday, today's Wednesday, and we're having to call the plumber out for tomorrow again, as we've backed up, especially in our community center where our seniors are at. And this is just, in my opinion, unacceptable and untenable. So we are in the process of getting prices, but this is kind of an emergency, so what I'm asking is the approval to not exceed the 60,000 and go with the most responsive and lowest bidder, so that I can take care of this problem on an emergency basis.
How much is the estimate right now monthly for plumbing expenses because of the issue?
We're spending, every time we have to clean it out, it's about, it depends on how much it is. Last Friday, we spent a little bit over $2,500 to do it. Tomorrow will probably be around $750 to $1,000. So if we're doing this 4 times a month, we're usually spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a monthly basis on doing this.
Okay.
You-
Go ahead. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
This has been an ongoing issue, you know, for years now, and I always wondered, you know, I always thought to myself, well, maybe somebody's stuffing, you know, too many paper napkins, or maybe the wrong type, or maybe other things. But this has been an ongoing thing, and it's never been addressed. And God knows how much money have we spent in the last years hiring plumbers to do this work. So, I mean, this is something that we must do, and it has to get done, and as soon as possible.
All right, you want to make the motion?
Motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez? How
Yes.
do you vote? Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Does anybody want to pull anything and speak about anything that is on the consent agenda? Or do we want to make a motion on all of the items?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Is the proclamation is on there?
Proclamation would be
Yeah.
12C.
Is it on the consent?
It is on the consent, confirming, right?
Yes.
Um,
12C.
Motion
Wait,
with
hold on.
12C.
I just wanted to ask if Commissioner Suarez, if you'll allow me, I'd like to
Sure.
co-sponsor or co-prime
Ladies
with you.
first.
To
Don't forget.
co-sponsor the proclamation with you, if you will allow me, for Max Alvarez.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Emiliano Orbis is a co-sponsor for item 12B. Anything else?
Go to the order.
No, hold on, we got to pass the consent. We have a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion.
We have a motion?
Second.
We have a second, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Next item.
Item 13, go to the order.
Go to the order. All right. Go to the order. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I have been approached by many residents, and their input has been very positive. They really like what they're seeing, and, you know, that in no small part is attributed to the leadership of Eric Diaz-Padrón as our mayor, and our new commission, and our administration. I was speaking with the mayor at the Easter egg hunt, and actually a resident just came up to us and thanked him, you know, for his leadership and everything that we've been doing. And, you know, I get goosebumps when I hear that. You know, that's why I sit here. I've sat here for many years, and my motivation and my impetus to continue to do this is that, you know, we sit here, and what we must strive for is to offer and give the best possible quality of life to the residents. So I can't say enough, you know, about our commission and our leadership and our administration. You know, this is why I do what I do, and this is why I sit here, and I'm very proud, and I'm very thankful and grateful.
Well, thank you, and I believe, and I say this to everyone, and so it's no secret that I think that we are really just scratching the surface, which sounds kind of crazy, but I think we're just scratching the surface. Me and the managers talk about it all the time. So just scratching the surface of what the city is going to become. So, anyone else go to the order?
Well, no,
Mayor, if I can have one
Go
quick
ahead.
second. I do want to extend my happy birthday wishes to you, Mayor,
Oh.
to
Happy birthday, man.
today, you have
Getting
to
older.
birthday?
to Commissioner
God.
Orbis
Oh,
as
oh,
well.
That's right.
And I
Happy
also
birthday.
want to
Closer.
wish a happy birthday to our city clerk, Aneri. So,
Oh, okay.
So,
Birthdays.
Happy
is your happy
birthday.
birthday today?
Happy birthday to any resident's birthday it is
Listen,
today.
at what time, where is the
Right, we're all
party?
going to Duffy's, right?
Where is the birthday party?
We're all going to Duffy's after this?
Yeah.
I think Commissioner Suarez wanted to sing happy
Yeah.
birthday to you.
Let's go to Duffy's.
Oh, you can say happy birthday after
Offer you-
adjournment. Can we
Mayor,
get a
bring
motion?
mine.
Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.